We were like every other animal, open and bare. How long is human beings on the planet? Just before we get into this here. Because now you're saying 240 years is a long time. I'm getting a bit worried. How long the human being is on this planet?
2,000 years.
You came with the Bible. Yeah. But if you take the scientific using carbon dating and some other, there's about 6 methodologies, scientific methods of dating back the age of the human being as in Homo sapiens. It's about, a lot of people say between 250,000 to 200,000.
On Google, it's saying 190,000 BC.
190,000. So I'm right, 200,000 years. So that is Homo sapiens. But if we believe, and I know some people may not accept the evolution as it, then you go back all the way to the single cell, 3.5 billion years ago. How old is the planet? 4.5 billion. So I'm just showing you perspective. So when we talk about 239 years ago, that's yesterday. That's just yesterday. Because before that, the human beings. And let me ask you a question. What is the average lifespan of a modern human being? Nigeria today, what is the man is a living, woman living, what?
Mine is 54.
And lady?
Women, 62. In Nigeria, 50 and 60.
You think so? I think this is more.
It's lower in Nigeria.
Lower?
Yes,
I think 50 and 60.
yeah, this is the
No,
next one.
but why would it be this?
Lots of economic security, social, political factors.
But generally, the human being, as a result of supply chain and packaging, human beings' lifestyles are much more comfortable. So human beings live longer. You see, if I take you back 20,000 years ago, 20,000, not 249, not 230, 20,000 years ago, we were in the bush with everybody else. And we were competing with every other animal for the water, for the fruit, for the food. If you want to eat something, you go, maybe 20,000 years ago, I think we had the spear. We can go poke that animal, kill him, and did we have fire? When did the fire come up? Do you know the only animal on the planet that's got fire control is a human being? No elephant is saying to his wife, let's warm that one. The wife elephant says, okay, not a problem, we'll light up a match. Then you put the food there and warm it up, and then the elephant, baby elephant also sit down and eat some nice warm tree. Because they only eat trees and leaves. No elephant, no tiger says to his wife, we caught this animal. Can you just make it hot here? And you put some oil and you heat it. Only human beings do. Idea of fire control is only the human being. So what I'm saying is, if you go back 20,000 years ago, we learned all these skills. We were competing, and at that time the lifespan of a human being was how much? If a human being lived to 20 years, he's an old human being. 20 years, lifespan average. You know why? We couldn't make it. Because you got eaten by the tiger, you got eaten by the whatever, most of because you are competing in the wild. Today, look, man, you've got a lovely building here, and all our animals, we keep them far away. We don't bring him where the city is. So we are living an artificial lifestyle. We're living in a because the natural laws of nature is you are the eat or be eaten. Survival of the fittest. And we are the fittest because we are the toughest brain. This is why we are able to build houses and supply chains and packaging. But up until 1780, we were doing all of that by hand. Then in 1780, the advent of the gear. You know what's a gear? The wheel with the teeth. And that started the gearbox. The gearbox started machinery. Machinery started manufacturing at a faster rate. What you could do with the hand, now you can do with machines. You can do 10 times faster. Then, this was around 1780. How many years ago? 39. About 100 years later. So say 139 years ago. About 100 years later, okay, we discovered electricity. Now we couple electricity with mechanical production. We have faster power in manufacturing. So what has been happening over the last 100, and then another 100 years later, we got computing. What happened in 1930? When did your computer come up? Who knows when the computer came? Who was around in 1970? How old were you?
No.
Now, how old were you then in 1970? I was 7 years old. Born in 1960.
What says the first computer was invented in 1820.
1822.
Yeah, that was the first computer. But it was not built until 1991.
Yeah, so we have to say, okay.
Based on the generation of computer.
And we can say around 1970. So this is another 100 years later. So we are saying in the past 240 years, electronics, digital, computerization, electricity, mechanical, we have used these techniques or technology to manufacture every consumer product that we want to make our lives easier. Yes, fact. Right. Then, right now we say we're in the fourth industrial revolution. This is the first. The second one was electricity. Third one was digital computers. The fourth one is cyber. In other words, machines can learn to do things by themselves. They are self-learning. They are independent of human beings. AI, artificial intelligence, is now a very current reality. It's a sad world. Yeah, it is sad. It is a sad one because we're kind of losing touch with reality. I don't know where we're going with all the speed. I don't even know why do we need all this. But I'm teaching you what is happening. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying this is what is happening. But he's saying it's a sad world. I agree with it. Because what if we are living with robots that actually control everything? Recently I've seen some movies about artificial intelligence. There's a movie called TIM, T-I-M. It's an acronym. It stands for something. T-I-M. Can you find it?
TIM.
T-I-M. It's an acronym. So you can put T.I.M. What does it mean? This is a computer, a robot that's given to this woman. He is your manservant. Do everything. The first thing the fellow asked her, give me all your passwords so I can do all your purchases and everything for you. Then he took
The 2023 film.
2023 film. What's it called?
TIM.
T.
It's just T.IM.
What is the T-I-M standing for? We will tell you that.
That means, okay. Prosthetic engineer.
Yeah. But you will see this movie.
Technologically integrated man-servant plots.
Technologically integrated.
It's your phone number and email for it.
Go and see what happens to this robot and this female. You'll be shocked. The real female and artificial male. Consider. That's why he's right. It's very dangerous what is happening. So cyber physics. Now,
have we all written our phone numbers and email?
Globalization is widely discussed topic. It is therefore not all that easy to explain such a complicated term in simple words. Let's start from the beginning with a background to globalization. Advances in technology, such as mobile phones, aeroplanes, telephones, and the internet, have made the growth of transport and communication networks possible. Among other things, this means that people and countries can exchange information and goods more quickly and in a less complicated way. This process is called globalization. Globalization comes from globe and means the worldwide coming together of countries and nations. Let's look at an example. Companies used to manufacture products in their home countries, just like the companies Profi TV and Supercolor, who produce televisions in country A. Their products are in direct competition with each other, but both companies pay the same salaries and production costs. They have the same customers, use similar suppliers, and sell televisions at similar prices. In short, the same conditions apply to both companies. So far, so good. Due to technical, cultural, and economic developments come about through globalization, companies which manufacture products under different conditions can now offer their products in country A too. That's why a company from country B can sell televisions here at low price because they were produced on this. The local firms Supercolor and Profi TV have to react to withstand the competition. And so the world grows closer together, and there is an active exchange of goods between countries. More affordable products are available for more people. However, not only does an exchange of products and economic goods take place, but also of services, knowledge, cultural goods, and even languages. All of these individual elements are closely linked and influence each other. But where there is light, there is also shadow. Because of globalization and this intense exchange of goods, people and the environment often suffer. If a company decides to move production to an economically disadvantaged country, people in industrialized countries lose their jobs. At the same time, job opportunities open up to many locals in the economically disadvantaged country. Many people in these countries work for very little money in comparison to those in industrialized countries. Therefore, they often remain poor, and more often than not, do not have sufficient insurance, social insurance, or health insurance cover. A further disadvantage of globalization is ecological problems, such as climate change. The use of aeroplanes, ships, and lorries to transport goods over international borders is constantly on the increase. This causes more carbon dioxide to be released into the atmosphere, which, in turn, is the main cause of global warming. Even national environmental standards are ignored. This is a further cost factor in the worldwide international site competition, which should be kept as low as possible to be attractive for a company. There are therefore many sides to globalization, which affect almost all aspects of life, causing me to think that the chain of positive and negative effects will continue to grow further. What's important is to realize that globalization itself is neither good nor bad. It just depends how people deal with all the new possibilities in the future.
now, any thoughts on that? Any discussion?
Each of these business global.
Yeah.
Contacts easy for a less technically advanced country. Connect to the advanced for the business.
Is it good or bad? Very good. Good.
There is
Yeah, sorry.
there is also disadvantages that are peculiar with globalization. For instance, there is possibility of people losing their jobs in
Oh, disadvantage.
yes, in industrialized nations. You tend to use more of the machines to do human work.
Yes. Okay, she's saying negative, she is saying positive.
Because the visibility growth is there with globalization. Because you can see like those products that are being used. I remember some years ago, there was some people that want to go to international schools, like what she was saying. You need to have somebody maybe that is beyond Nigeria to send the form and all that. But now, people can sit in their rooms and get scholarships. People can sit and order goods and they will be delivered to you at your door.
So that's globalization, that's positive. The negative is if you, as a country, you are open to trading with the rest of the world. That's what you are saying. And that's positive. The negative, though, is if you are manufacturing in Nigeria, let's say you're making shoes, and you are not very efficient in making shoes. You make many rejects, you have to redo the job, and you don't use the material efficiently, you're losing a lot of spoilage and all of that. And therefore your shoe price is what the price of the shoe. Say a good shoe, man. 25,000 naira. You are selling the shoe for 25,000 naira. It's a good shoe, very nice shoe, very comfortable, good quality. And then you find on the internet that China is selling the same shoe for 19,000 naira. Now, who are you going to buy from? Wow, no, you buy from the Chinese, the Nigerian, because his price is 25,000. At least you are supporting local. The same story in South Africa. I say to South Africa. Now, why you are buying the Chinese shoes? Why didn't you support the South Africans? It's your brother from South Africa. No. We want to save money. We want to buy this. But as long as the Chinese quality is the same as the Nigerian quality, we have to make sure that that is the same. And then all things being equal, if the price is better, you have to buy the lower price. Because you've got another 6,000 naira for to buy anything else. So the thing is, if you want to compete with the lowest cost producer in the planet, you have got to reduce your cost price. So that is where we start talking about quality management, because in quality management, it's all about operational costs and efficiencies and quality. You can make a product at the right quality at the first time without wastage, then it's possible to reduce cost. Because cost is based on material, labor, and overheads. MLO, material, labor, and overheads make up the cost of anything. So make sure the material is low, the labor is low, and the overhead. See, the problem is labor in South Africa. The labor laws protect the labor so much that when you hire a person, you can't hire. Very difficult. In South Africa, once your man is hired, if you make a mistake, then you've got to have a disciplinary hearing. Then you've got to spend money on training how to not make a mistake. Then if you make the same mistake again, then you go to counsel. Then now you got to spend money on counseling. After you make 10 mistakes, then you can say, look, I've looked at history of this family and you have to find it. Then you can find it. But then it's not because it's very big.
It's not different, not that our labor laws are not enforced. Yeah, if you check our labor laws, you see provisions for some of these things. So, but to implement it is because the implementation process is quite, is not something that is so they will rather support. It's just like you and your landlord. The law supports the tenant more than the landlord. The law supports the employees more than the employer. But often than not, when an employer dismiss you unlawfully, often than not, as Nigerian, we have this survival instance. We just want to go for alternative B. But over there, people want to, take the employer to court. You look at it that rather than me spend my 1,000,000 naira savings, let me invest in something else. So that's how it works.
It's not just that. And let me add, the problem is that when you go and you can do it for 550.
Most of us go through, because we go through litigation process. Often than not, there are several windows in the law court. You can go to mediation, you can go to arbitration. But often than not, we just want to drag ourselves in the newspaper. So if you can use any of these alternative dispute resolution units to get some of these things. So I agree that it's tough in Nigeria, but it's also quite important that we also know that the law makes provision, even though, like I said, quote and unquote,
My company planning for simply can get what is it?
And I hope that the ready for victimization, you want to be victimized.
Sorry, but in labor, there are different processes. In some cases, you do not need to go to court. The Lagos have reformed the judiciary system where people can have some of those things settled out of court. But if that does not work, then you can then go to okay. Those ones don't take it's a new system. If you have tried, have you tried that option before they even accept you in court?
And you follow up the president.
Sorry?
Probably defender.
Lagos State multi-door court house.
Yeah.
We have the multi-door court house from state to state, and even now up to the Supreme Court level. And that's why sometimes when you see other politicians come to make money on newspaper, there's a backdoor court where they settle to speak. But often than not, an average Nigerian wants to support the noise rather than look out for the facts. So that's why we need to, this is an opportunity for us to also find out that there are other means to, settle.
You have legal background.
Well, I worked for a law firm at some point. But I work as a human resource basically, and I'm learning and developing.
Very good insights.
Free legal services.
I didn't. Okay, all I did was give you an example. In South Africa, though, people maybe are lazy and they prefer to fight because at least they get some money.
Yeah.
Whereas I can see here the attitude is slightly different. Here it is, where cut the loss, go to the new place and make some money, which is a good idea. Yeah. All right. Okay. So global impact. We spoke about this: business growth, global competition, access to technology. These are all the positive things about it. But the negative thing is you need parity pricing. In other words, if China is bringing the shoe in cheaper, you are going to react and you better make sure that you are competitive. If you're not, what happens to you? You die. That's the advantage. You die. You're out of business. So that's a negative thing about globalization. Now, there's a supply chain. And if you look at the supply to manufacture to storage, to distribution, to retail, to customer, every aspect of, what's the difference between supply chain and value chain?
Right? The value chain has to do with the production, getting to the shelf.
You're right.
It's right, actually, but supply chain and value chain, there's not much difference because in value chain, I'm talking about the processes within the supply chain, something that add value to the material and then go along with that. So this value addition, this is maybe it can be the process and movement.
Right. But my question is, you as packaging students, but now packaging experts, can you interchange the word supply chain and value chain? Like in a business meeting, if you talk about supply chain, you mean one thing. You talk about value chain. It is the supply chain you're talking about, but you're talking about the value addition in each stage of the process. So don't use the words supply chain and value chain interchangeably. They have a slightly different meaning. Not a big difference, but a slight difference. And you must know that there is the supply chain. From here to there, there's value add. 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 From here to here, this man or lady is paying for the full cost in the breakfast area, in the shoe, in the car, paying for the full cost. So you're paying the full value. This is a supply chain. It's also the value addition chain. So the value chain, supply chain, I want you to understand the difference and use it so that people can say, hey, this man here knows the difference. But what you can see is in each stage, there's packaging. You cannot move the supply chain without packaging. Okay.
That's one.
One of the yeah, supply chain is using packaging, value chain is okay. So this year would be, I think, right to speak more about that sort of thing, but I don't want to talk about that. So packaging is what time are we? Should we break? It's a nice time to break.
Okay. You finished that.
Yeah, the next thing will be a new idea.
So we will just take a short break. We'll go there. There are cups there. We'll have a quick tea break and then we'll reconvene. Okay.
Well done.
Good. Yeah.
The OYB was very interesting and stressing. You're telling this year. Yes, we just finished that. Okay. So we don't know each other since it's online. We live online.
Yeah. And I don't see, you see me because I show my camera, but I don't see you.
At times I show my camera, at times I'll be on my way home
Yeah.
walk. So I'll just switch off the camera and sit there.
But it's good. There's on the online.
Very good. Very good. And we're able to cover more. But the only thing I noticed as is the advantage if we can have very good instead of just printing it.
But how would we then move the textbook around the world? We have posted.
No, the representative here must have gotten or take stock before
But why would it be better than the electronic book? We're going to give you the electronic book.
you gave us the electronic, it's always better to read their printed text. So you can make highlights, make references.
You can do that even electronically.
Because at times I may not have access.
Yeah, okay. So prepare the book. I'm not to do my thing.
So I have to print it each section I printed. Sorry. So I printed and I have to buy it.
No, I think it's good because then it's a textbook that you can keep looking at. But that's the same textbook. So exactly the same book we're using now. Not that one, the top one.
Very voluminous, very actually. So later I have to do.
I couldn't believe that I went through this through my time.
So I was able to get it.
Yeah. They don't print anymore.
No, but we still sell the book, electronic book.
Okay.
Yeah. Now remember the price, the cost includes the book in the price. But the individual the one you already have.
And because some person they want to go to.
You can buy the book, electronic book, Lara will send it to you. Give you the link to download the book, yeah. And then you can't download more than one book.
Okay. I'll ask Lara again.
Some of my colleagues,
You want to have it?
they want to have it. I need to follow them sometimes.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
But maybe I need to revisit the printing of the book because people still want the physical book.
People say there are people that are like a lot of people are still those school. Some people will never read the newspapers and the magazine on their book.
Yeah,
They
must have a paper.
want to have that feel of the paper.
Yeah. So we should print the book.
Sorry, they don't allow it to be inside here.
Oh, so this is the company preparing.
Yes, very nice.
Very good. Very good.
So it's a multiple blessing from our needs.
Yeah, how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 15, 30, 40, 60.
Which is more than enough for a class.
You can put pictures on the WP.
I will do that now. I put the video live on YouTube. Extend it.
Nobody will look at that. Put 5 or 6.
Yes, I will
Good
let it
pictures.
come back.
Just like a good picture. And spending costs. You just say WP time spending.
Yeah.